You're all in on Agentforce, and maybe you've even built your first agent. Well, what next? Cue the DevOps Center, an essential platform for agent development, integrating third-party tools, and your home for testing to ensure high-quality agent deployment. To walk us through the amazing features of the DevOps Center, I'm joined by Stefan Chandler-Garcia, Developer Advocate Director, and Karen Fidelic, Senior Director, Product Management, Salesforce. Welcome, you guys.
Thank
all right,
you.
so let's just kick it off. Stefan, what is the DevOps Center, and why is it essential for teams that build and deploy Salesforce apps?
Of course. Well, obviously, in this whole new world of Agentforce, we really need to be aligned on our metadata and everything that we're building. And as developers, like, deployment without testing is a terrible idea. And Karen, I'm sure you could tell us all about all this amazing
Deployment
stuff.
without testing is a terrible idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Karen, tell us about these incredible features that are included in the DevOps Center.
Yeah, so DevOps Center is going to allow us to manage our life cycle, really from the idea all the way through testing, development testing, and into deployment to production.
Yeah.
So we've got some exciting new capabilities around testing specifically that are coming out right now. We have a product called DevOps Testing that is basically a layer on top of DevOps Center, which we are just now introducing. It's in pilot. It's going to be GA next month. What we're showing here is the incorporation of agent testing into the DevOps Center experience. What we're seeing here is DevOps Center. This is where we're going to manage our work as we go through development. We're able to do our development here and manage our work through work items, manage the metadata, changes that go with those work items. All of that's going to be managed in an underlying source of truth source control. And what we're seeing here is this new capability around testing. So we're incorporating testing as a first-class citizen into DevOps Center now. We're going to be able to manage tests, manage test executions, integrate with third-party and Salesforce test providers, and really importantly, be able to gate our promotions, the deployments through the pipeline based on the results of the tests that we run. And this will prevent us from deploying bad code into production, which is what we're all trying to really avoid.
That is
here. It's very
helpful.
exciting. We're super excited about this.
Yeah, very exciting. Well, the technology is developing at such a rapid pace, and developers are under pressure to meet these deployment goals. How can DevOps Center help them with that?
Yes. I'm up.
Did I stump you?
Yeah, no.
Who's up? Me?
Yeah. No, I mean, so when building agents, I mean, it's crazy how much, so for one, how much reuse there is of existing functionality and tools and capabilities. But on top of that, as you're starting to build, the process changes, testing changes. I mean, the development lifecycle, as you saw yesterday, it's not totally different, but it's really augmented.
Yeah, and what I like to talk about with DevOps Center too is the incorporation of teams and bringing together teams of both low-code and pro-code developers working together in the tools that they prefer. And that's all powered by an underlying source of truth in a source control system that DevOps Center helps manage, particularly for those low-code users. So the entire team can have visibility across the entire pipeline, where the work sits, how the tests have been run, what changes are where, in which environments, and it really brings a whole new level of collaboration and visibility across the team.
Very valuable for teams. Now, how does DevOps Center work when it comes to integration of third-party apps?
Yeah, so DevOps Center, what we just saw with this DevOps testing is a good example of how we're incorporating integration with third-party test providers like Capado Robotic Testing, Provar Testing, Panaya, Quality Clouds, Tricentis. We've incorporated industry's best test tools that are out there for the Salesforce ecosystem into the Salesforce testing product. So really bringing all those best capabilities to our customers. In addition, we have integrations in DevOps Center with source control systems, so GitHub, Bitbucket, integrated directly into Salesforce DevOps Center so that users can take advantage of these industry best practices with these industry tools that are out there.
So what would you say to developers out there who are hesitant to get started with DevOps Center? What advice would you give them?
Number one, you've got to really think about how you're using source control in your development lifecycle. Understand how that works and how that process will work and how it would affect the way that you're building, and really start to just try and drive that change within your development teams, within your company, because it can be a big shift if it's something that you've not been used to, if it's something you've never done before. And it just will change your life when it comes to building applications, especially on Salesforce.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, a part of this is just cultural. Like, you've just got to sort of get a cultural shift and a cultural mindset within the organization, and just start kind of baby stepping into some of these processes. Starting with even just ensuring that you have separate sandbox environments for development and testing before you get to production. That's like a simple thing that not everybody does, but absolutely is something that we recommend.
Yeah.
And then incorporating the requirements into our work items that we have, like
Super.
Integrated right into the product.
Super helpful. And, you know, this is day 2 of TDX. What are some of the responses you've heard from attendees thus far? And what's the buzz out there?
I think there's a lot of excitement. I think over the last few years I've been working on these products, and it's products that the community's been asking for many, many years. A lot of this is not like, aside from agents and the AI, a lot of this is just not rocket science, really. This is pretty industry standard, and some could consider table stakes. And we are now really able to deliver solutions around that. And now we're coupling that with the agents on top of that, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Stefan, Karen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that. We appreciate your insights, and we thank you guys for watching.